Like I said, I'm very nervous about Friday. Might need a glass of wine or two there because that's going to be nerve-wracking. Yeah, playing Afghanistan first. Ain't got no
Strengths of South
weakness
Africa.
except the
Yeah,
mental weakness.
except the mental game. I think everyone
Yeah,
knows it now.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. I told you he's impossible to dismiss unless he gives you his wicket. There's no way to get that guy
Exactly.
out. Touch wood here now, but no, 100%. The two big threats, and that's what I think. I mean, Pakistan, I know, and New Zealand as well. They beat us
Hmm.
now, but the partnership of Miller and Klaasen, we're talking about 100 runs.
You are listening to the Cricket Rewind podcast. Beyond the scorecards, beyond the boundaries. From exclusive contents to fresh insights, join us in the sport that we celebrate and breathe.
A warm welcome to each and everyone watching this Cricket Reborn podcast with the Champions Trophy hovering around. We deep dive into few of the exciting teams playing in the tournament. Today's niche is South African cricket team, one of the exciting prospects that they have. And to address their preview, I have a passionate Proteas fan who breathes Protea fire, renowned across social media, known by the name of Cricket Queen from Cape Town. And here she is, Thanja for you. A very warm welcome, Thanja.
Hi, hello.
Pardon me if I've just made an error or with the pronunciation of your name. It would be great for all the viewers if you could say the correct pronunciation of your name.
Yes, so I actually worked in Vietnam for 3.5 years, and everybody there called me Tanja. So I've kind of stuck with that. In like my parents call me Tanya, but I mean I really like
Oh,
Tanja because it has that spelling, right? Thanjaa, which I'm sure people are familiar with in India as well because of
yeah.
Tanjavur. So yeah, I've just been rolling with it, and I really like it.
All right, so we'll quickly jump into the South African squad. And so, coming off South Africa, they have incurred a little bit of setbacks as well. No Andrik Nokia, no Kagiso Rabada. But I think a major issue with South Africa in recent times is that since the ODI World Cup, South Africa played 14 ODIs and won only four. It includes a whitewash against Pakistan a couple of months back at home. What are your take on it?
Um, okay, yeah, I mean, I've spoken about this before, but I think, Pakistan is a hell of a lot of, they're a better team outside of Pakistan. They perform a lot better outside of Pakistan than they do in Pakistan. I mean, we saw in Australia, because in South Africa as well, because I think those pitches really suit their bowlers, and they've got a really good bowling attack. I think as a South African, maybe some people might be a bit fearful, nervous about everything, but we've kind of just been using the bilaterals to see, what young new talent can come through because we've been focusing a lot on the World Test Championship. So yeah, I feel like we've lost those games, but even the other day when we lost to Pakistan in Pakistan, you didn't have somebody like David Miller, Aiden
Yeah,
Markram, Kagiso
yeah.
Rabada. So, I mean, we've never really played with a full strength team. So I don't think we're too concerned about it. Players need to rest as well. Look at all the injuries that are going on. So yeah, I mean, I'm very relaxed about it, not too concerned.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned a very good point because you're not too much concerned about the bilateral series and why not? Because South Africa has been making the knockout stages consistently in the past few years. You talk
Hmm.
about the South African men's team, or if you talk about the South African women's side, they have been making the
Yes,
finals. Just they have been consistent enough to
two
make the finals, isn't
finals
it? And
in a
also
row.
the exactly, and also the
Yeah.
under 19 women's team. So I think there's a lot to
Yes.
take pride about but again, when it comes to the later stages, there's something that is lacking. What do you reckon? We all know South Africa, for some reasons, they are messing up in the finals or in the semi-finals. It's been coming since the years. I know it doesn't feel good as a South African cricket fan, but what do you think is lacking for South Africa at this point in time?
I think the biggest frustration for South Africans is that you look at some of the teams we've had, De Villiers, ABD, and we've had Hashim Amlas and Graham Smiths and
Yeah.
Herschel Gibbs and Dale Staines. I mean, how many years now have we had teams on paper that you're like, you look at that team on paper and you know that they can win the whole thing? And it's just not been happening. I think because we've now reached our first final, T20 final, I think maybe that's something that we can maybe get used to now, is that we've been on that stage. What is missing? I think for the team, if I could put out a message for the Proteas, I would be, don't think of it as the whole country putting this mountain
Yep.
of expectation on your shoulders. Go out, play
Yep.
your
Hmm.
individual game. You know what I mean? Don't think of the bigger picture of it. Just go
Hmm.
out, be the best version that you can be the best batter, be the best bowler, feel like your life depends on it. If they go out and give it their all, then there's something really to be proud of. Like, in the T20 final, I mean, I thought we put up a really brilliant performance. So yes, it's sad, but
Definitely.
you know what I'm saying? It's they did their
Yeah.
best, and I do think that we've got a good chance in this Champions Trophy as well. But that would be it. Don't put all the pressures on you. Just go out, enjoy it, play your game, and that's it. Play your role, because roles are very important in cricket. That's it. I don't think there should be too much pressure on them.
Yeah, so all you have to say is that go out and express yourself, and
Yeah,
keep the results later on. It'll come. The
yeah.
result will follow if you express yourself, isn't it?
I don't think from a
Yeah,
talent aspect or anything that we're really lacking. I think it's just a mental
not at all.
hurdle. And if you make
Yeah,
that hurdle a mountain, it's not going to be good. But if you just focus on doing what you always do, just see it as a cricket match. I know it's much easier said than done, but every game is just a game of cricket at the end of the day. So yeah,
yeah, definitely.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
that's
no
what
doubt
I
on
think.
that. Yeah, and you also pointed out about few bowlers, Kagiso Rabada and so on. I would like to put a little emphasis on the bowling lineup of South African cricket team in the Champions
Mm,
Trophy. They have incurred a bit of blow. You talk about Anrek Nokia; he was preferred over Gerald Coetzee. And when Anrek Nokia is out, and a few days later, it was stated that Gerald Coetzee is ruled out as well due to a groin
yeah,
issue. And now they have got Corbin Bosch. Obviously, it's a great opportunity for Corbin, who has been working hard, played the CPL as well in the past, played some franchise leagues around, came into the test setup. And but when you look at the South African cricket bowling attack, because we all know that the pitches are likely going to be a batting friendly tracks, it's not going to be very easy for the bowlers. You have Kagiso Rabada, you have Marco Jansen. Now you have Koina Mafaka in the reserves, not in the playing, not in the squad. But yeah, with no Kodzia, no Nokia, do you think that South Africa is missing an X factor in the bowling attack?
Um, I would be more concerned about that if everybody else was at full strength. But Australia are missing their, fast bowling
Yeah,
trio. India is
yeah,
missing Bumrah. We all know how important
yeah,
that is for India. Afghanistan are missing some really key spinners. I can't think of the guy's name now.
yeah.
Gafranzad,
Allah
I think
Gazanfar is
Majid.
missing. Yeah,
Yeah, and that guy bowled circles around South Africa in the UAE. So
yeah,
I'm
I
sorry for
remember.
him. Yeah, that was again, not all of our batters there, but again, that was terrible. I really didn't enjoy that. And I think Majib is also out, right?
Yeah,
I
Mujib
think.
is out as well. The doctor suggested him
Yeah.
that you can't play ODIs for some time. He can only focus on T20Is.
Oh, wow, that's interesting because I think in the power play he would have been amazing, but okay, that's an interesting
Yeah,
reason.
definitely.
So I think looking at it from that aspect, I'm not super concerned. Obviously, I feel like having that 150 click bowler to really hit the pitch hard, bowl really good bounces on a flat pitch, I think that would have been very useful. Somebody like a Anrich Nokia or Kutsia. But so my like for like replacement is Bosch. I know, we've got Ngidi there as well, but I just feel
Yeah,
like you want to have roles for the bowlers and you want that guy to hit the pitch hard at a 150 clicks. And remember, Bosch isn't really a power play bowler. He bowls in the middle. So
yeah,
in this tri
yeah,
series, he bowled in the power play. I'm just a bit concerned, I'd say, more about the spinners because they haven't been in the best form. Shamsi and Maharaj coming in from the SA20. I think on those pitches in Pakistan, it's very important to remember that even if you don't take wickets, bowling at bowling really tight overs, that don't go for too many, that in the end can bring on some pressure and wickets might come at the other end because the pitches haven't been turning that much. So I think I'm more concerned about the fact that I don't know how much there is in the pitches for bowlers, and it might just end up being a very batting batting forward tournament, especially in Pakistan. So yeah, I think we're lacking a bit, but does it really matter on flat pitches? I mean, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, that's my take
Yeah,
on that.
talk about flat pitches, and someone who is back in the Protea squad is Rassi van der Dusen, maybe the ICC
Mm,
trophy guy for them. When it comes to 50 overs ICC events, Rassi comes in and he comes in with a blast, takes a team, bolsters the team's batting unit. So, what are your views on Rassi's back? Is he eating up someone's place? Someone like Matthew Britsky is missing, or do you think do you take it as a positive note that Rassi's back?
yeah, I'm happy you asked me about that because I actually think he might be one of the main guys. Just like I think
Yeah,
Stephen Smith, Joe Root, it's those
mm,
kind of players that might end up scoring the big centuries for you. Look, Russie's
definitely.
ODI record is impeccable. I mean, he's broken some
Yeah,
records. I think him and Babar Azam were very when Russie was playing ODIs regularly. It was like Kohli, it was like Babar, Russie. I think he's fastest 1,000 runs. I'm just going off the top of my head. I don't know, but he's a very complete ODI player. He's also worked a lot on starting faster. He's been doing that in the T20 format now as well, because usually he'd take quite a long time to get going. He's been
mm,
working on that, on his strike rate. He's probably eating up, as you would say, eating up somebody's place. He's probably eating up a guy like Tristan Stubbs's place. I don't think he's
yeah.
been in the best form. He's probably my favorite player, especially what he's been doing in the last year, what he did for the Delhi Capitals.
Stubbsy. Yeah.
Yeah, Stubbo. He's probably
Plus
eating up
plus one.
his place. Yeah, you like
Plus
him.
one. From the current lot, I love Tristan Stubbs. I think he's got that mental aspect, beat the pressure. In
Mm,
pressure times, he comes in, soaks the pressure, and hit big runs as well. Beat T20 cricket, beat ODI cricket. He got his maiden century. I
yeah.
was overwhelmed to see
And
Stubbsy really
Test
doing
cricket
well.
as well. In the Test format
Yeah,
as well,
absolutely.
he's going, yeah. So
Yeah.
Um, I think he's probably taking up his place. The only thing that I am concerned about with that is that, look, we saw that 350 isn't enough
Yeah.
in Pakistan, especially at a place like
Fair point.
Karachi. It's not
Fair
enough. So,
point.
do we have enough firepower with Temba, Rassi? Look, I think Markram has proved himself in the ODI format.
Yeah.
I'm
And I
also a
think these
big
Aussies gonna open, I think.
Markram. Yeah, well, when you ask me about my 11, I'll tell you how I feel about that. But
Yeah,
I
please.
think it's
Please.
necessary to have Russi in there. He's also proven himself. Stubbs wasn't in the best of form, like we're used to in the
Agreed.
SA20. Who knows? They might change it up, you know. Definitely, if we do end up playing in Dubai, it might be something different. But I do think we need also the experience of a Rassi in there. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so
I think he has
you
to
mentioned
be.
about your yeah, you mentioned about a predicted 11. Like, what should be a starting 11 for South African cricket team? What do you reckon?
Okay, mine. Let me just say, in a perfect world, I would
Yeah.
prefer Markram opening and Temba batting in
Okay.
the middle. Kind of Temba
All
playing the
right.
Joe Root, Steve Smith, rotating the
Yeah.
strike, not eating up
Hmm.
too many dot balls, hitting those
Hmm.
boundaries. He's also great against spin, but they're definitely not going to listen to me now, hopefully in the future. But
Hopefully.
yeah, so I think he's more that kind of player, but I would say then Timber and Rickleton has to
Hmm.
open. Rickleton has by far been the most informed batter in all formats. He
Yeah.
scored a double century in Test cricket the other day. I think he played only like 8 matches in the SA20, and he came in from match one. He's
Yeah.
incredible. You know what I mean? He's so confident right now. That's something we need. And
Hmm.
he's that left-handed batter. So for me, right now, Rickleton is a better choice than De Zorzi. That doesn't take anything
Cool.
away from De Zorzi. He's a fantastic
Agreed.
player, but to play in the Protea side now, the competition is, you know what I mean?
It's
It's
sky
right up
high.
there. It's sky high
True.
because from a batting perspective, we're very blessed at the moment. You saw Divock Brevis and
Hmm.
Harman. There's a lot of guys. So Temba, Rickleton, then I will have Rassi, then I will have Markram, then I will have Klaasen, then I will have Miller, then I will have
Well,
Janssen, then I will
yes.
have Corbin Bosch, which I mean, I think I've
Great.
spoken about a little bit. Then I will have
Yeah.
Rabada batting ahead of Maharaj. No offense to Maharaj, but Rabada is a better batter than Maharaj. I think he's proven that lately. Then I will have Maharaj, and then I will have Tabraiz Shamsi. So that for me is my
All right.
11. Yeah,
So two
and
spinners,
I feel
including Aiden
confident.
Markram, who can roll his arms. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably a better ODI bowler than he is a T20 bowler. So I think, goodness me, I think he bowled David Warner in the ODI World Cup when we really, really needed a wicket. But then again, there's something going on between those two players. I mean, you'll probably find some videos on YouTube. So that was massive for him to bowl David
Yeah.
Warner. Yeah, also he bowls sometimes in the power play. So maybe, you get a couple of left-handed batters in, he could be quite useful. Yeah, you've got a lot of left-handed batters, not in India, but all around the tournament. So there he could be very
Hmm.
useful there as well. And then we have 6 bowling options, which, yeah, I mean, I like I said, in Pakistan, it's going to be flat. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
Also,
flat, and you've got batting depth as well with it.
yeah, so if we have Corbin instead of Ngidi, that also
Yeah.
allows batters at the top to maybe go a bit harder, because we have the extra
Yeah.
batter and you
Yeah.
can capitalize on the flatness
Exactly.
of the pitch. So yeah, that's why I would
And
also
if you
want
want to,
Corbin.
even Farah can chip in with some 20 runs if needed at the table, at the toe
Yeah,
end.
jeez, have you seen that
We have
guy's
seen him
cover
hitting some
drive?
six and fours.
His cover
Yeah,
drive is
that's a superb.
amazing. It's textbook, it's yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Rabada's batting. I love it. Yeah.
All right, big fan of Rabada's batting. We also have some fun session out there where we will speak about a lot of things, some rapid fire sessions and all. But yeah, going on a few questions before we move to that segment, and that is, who do you consider as the X factor of the South African cricket team, the Champions Trophy squad?
Without a doubt, Heinrich Klaassen, his last 4 ODI scores. Look, he didn't look like somebody that a bowling side could dismiss. He obviously had to
Yeah,
take really big risks, and then eventually, because he was the lone ranger. But in all honesty,
yeah,
if he just was there with Miller playing his normal game, he looks unstoppable. He looks like, nobody knows how to dismiss him, really. Then, of course, Miller, those two together are just, I mean, I'd say they're the best finishing pair in the world, without a doubt. They
without a doubt.
smashed Australia for 222 runs in like 90 balls. I've got the stat here somewhere. They've played together for
Oh,
20 innings. They scored 695 runs. Death over strike rate for Miller, 150, 180 for Klaassen. So those two on flat pitches, beware. I mean, I'm
carnage.
so definitely, you know what I'm saying? I'm just getting chills right now.
Yeah,
That's danger. That's got danger written all over it. X Factor as well, I think. Yeah, Rabada and Janssen, I think they make a very good bowling pair at the top. I think
couldn't
Rabada,
agree
Tim
more.
Southey called him his bowler of the
Hmm.
tournament, interestingly enough. Thank you, Tim. So I think Rabada, he can bowl anywhere in the world. I think he's going to be massive. And I think Janssen, if he's accurate enough for long enough, and with those bounces, that's like I said, I think the bounces are going to be key on flat pitches. I think those 4 guys, and again, Rassi, Temba as well.
Hmm.
Look, we've got a really good team. Everybody just has to show up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every year, there's no doubt on South Africa. Like they look like the one of the best teams on the favorites to win the championships. But again, in the end, even I don't know what happens to South African cricket team
No,
after India. I love South Africa and New Zealand. These are the two sides, but I really don't get what happens to them in the semifinals and the knockouts. Although New Zealand won the ICC Mace, but yeah, really hoping that South Africa gets a hand to the silverware very soon.
yeah, no, I mean we've got a shot in June as well, which I'm
Yeah,
I'm counting down the days. So
against
yeah, I mean
Aussies.
we're on the right path. So
Yep.
yeah, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully this time.
All right. So moving on. No, one particular aspect that I would like to address is that most South African cricketers that are in this squad of Champions Trophy are coming off SA20. Like they do not have a they do not have a considerable ODI experience in recent times. If you talk about few players, yeah, obviously they played ODIs against Pakistan and other sides just before the S20, but adaptability is
Mm.
key. Like from coming off from T20 game, and I think in the Tri Nation series it was relatively a young squad. I think 4 to 5 players were made the debut in the first match, and in the
Yeah.
second match I think few of the guys were in Lungi and others. So, how do you see them adapting to the Champions Trophy? Because it's a short tournament. You have got only two
Mm.
matches in the group stages to show up. I mean, sorry, 3 matches in the group stages to show up.
Thank God,
Uh,
three, two, then that would have been hard. Okay,
yeah,
three matches.
yes, yeah.
Are you asking how are
Afghanistan.
these players going to adapt from
Yeah,
the
yes.
T20? Yeah. Um, Look, we've seen in the past that it's not easy, especially for batters. I mean, you saw now with England as well.
Hmm.
I mean, people think that they need to score runs in 5 overs, and that's what they've got. And in reality, you don't have, you've got a lot of time. So again, that's where I think somebody like a Rassie van der Dussen would really come in. You can anchor the innings and allow players to bat freely around him. He's got a wealth of experience in this format. He's one of the best batters in this format. So I think
All
with
right.
that in mind, I think he's going to be quite key. Klaasen has been really good. Miller also likes taking his time. Temba has been in very good form in the longer formats. The longer formats suit him. Rickleton, he just scored a 200. So all of the kind of like aspects of Test cricket can somewhat be applied to ODI cricket. You can take time.
Hmm.
You can take your time. You need to navigate the new ball at the start.
True.
So a lot of the Test aspects will play a role in the ODI matches as well. I also think it's good that we had a week to rest. I don't think that's too big of a concern. I don't like the
Hmm.
fact that we're facing Afghanistan first, because I honestly think they can really go all the way. They've beaten England and Australia easily in
In the
ICC
T20 World
events.
Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, and England they beat by such a big margin in the ODI World Cup. They should have beaten Australia by a big margin and then came 200. Take that 200 from Maxwell away, and then Australia would have been demolished.
That was
Um,
one of a
yeah,
knock
that was
from the
still the
big show.
match of the match of the World Cup yeah, wow, incredible. So I'm not too concerned. I think we've got a lot of experience in there. Remember, if Stubbs doesn't play, you've got
Hmm.
Temba, Markram, Miller, Klaasen, who've played tons of ODI cricket, Rassie,
True. Very true.
and Rabada, Jansen. I think Jansen is a better ODI bowler than he is a T20 bowler as well. The spinners are very experienced. So we've actually got a lot of experience in the side. So I'm
Hmm.
not too concerned about the transition. Yeah. And I think because we played the tri-series, there's a lot
Hmm.
of information that will go to the
Yeah.
players about the pitches, about what kind of balls to bowl. So yeah,
What can
not
they expect?
not too concerned. Yeah, too concerned.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the SWOTs, like strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats for South Africa? Like, there's the last question before we move to the segment two.
Okay, strengths, weaknesses. We ain't got no
Strengths of South
weakness
Africa.
except the
Yeah.
mental weakness.
Except the mental game. I think everyone
Yeah,
knows it now.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I
Yeah.
think obviously that's a weakness, but when you are weak, you can also be strong. I mean, you can
Hmm.
use that as a motivation. So I mean, obviously we all know that's a big hurdle for South Africa. I do
Hmm.
think the bowling worries me a bit, but I think everybody is worried about their bowlers. You look at a side like Australia, who's also missing three
Yeah.
of their bowlers. So the bowling feels a bit thin. The strengths we have, I think we've got the best middle order in the tournament. Definitely, it's very strong. It's very experienced as well. Weakness for me, this is a big one. I think we lost the match against Pakistan the other day because,
Hmm.
correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, you can put it up on the screen. I think we only scored like 50 runs in the power play and they ended up scoring like 90. So that's always
Mm.
been a weakness of South Africa is our power play batting. Remember, ODI is all about phases of the game. Do you win the first
Yeah.
phase? Do you win the second phase? Do you win? So we always do very well in the second phase and in the third phase because we rotate strike. We've got strong finishers. So I'd say that's a bit of a weakness compared to other teams. That is why I would prefer Rickleton in the side because I think he's the kind of guy that can really get us off to a good start. And then Timber,
Mm.
who's also very good at finding the gaps. Also, those two
Yeah.
important. They play together domestically, so they know each other really well. Timber and
Yeah.
Rickleton. Strengths, we've got Rabada. He's a strength on his own. Yeah, what am I missing? I
We
feel
talk
like
about
I've covered the
opportunities
strength.
now.
Yes,
Opportunities and threats.
opportunities. Yeah.
I think opportunity for
Rassi, big.
Corbin Bosch,
Yeah,
Rassi
I
as
will
well.
finish. I will finish off with Corbin. Um, a big opportunity for Rassi to get back into the side. He's kind of been absent. He's been missing. He's not on the test side anymore. So a big
Mm.
opportunity. He's coming off some good form in the SA20. A big opportunity for him to really stand up and play some match-winning innings. Corbin Bosch, I'm very happy for him. He's deserved to be there. He's played some key roles in the test format. The other day, I think it was an ODI against Pakistan, where he also, he played really well.
Yeah, he
If
chipped in
they
with some
give him,
40 or something, 40 odd runs. I think he
yeah,
chipped in with that.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
40 or
so
60,
solid.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good performance. So I think probably based on that, a guy that I felt missed out was George Linder. I'm a big fan of him, so
Yeah, it is very
yeah, I'm a bit.
economical in the middle of a space.
He's very economical. He's also tall, so he'll get a bit of bounce. He's
Yeah.
also a left armer, great batter as
Mm.
well. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Britzka as well. I think we spoke about that. I think people would want to hear
Yeah,
about that.
we
I
did.
think the reason Britzka missed out, Britzka, is because I feel like who
150
do
on
you drop?
debut.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, who do you drop out of the
Fair point.
batters? You look at the batting lineup. You can't really now because this guy played phenomenally. You can't really drop
Yeah.
a Markram. You can't. He's one of the leaders of the side. You can't really drop any of the batters. So I think Matthew knows that, and he'll use it as motivation. And look, we've been putting him into every format. He's been playing T20s for
Yeah.
South Africa. He's had one test match. So the selectors are very, very aware of him, and he's definitely part of the future plans. Um, Corbin,
And
like I said,
threats
he
in the
deserves
end.
to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, I'd say a big opportunity for Marco Jansen. He was smashed to bits by Rohit Sharma, so that'll be at the back of his mind. It's a big opportunity for him to prove his worth and that he is one of the best bowlers in the world. I do think he is. I think sometimes he's got off days. He was the leading wicket taker in the SA20. So I think big opportunity for him to really prove to the world because people have very mixed feelings
Mm.
about Janssen, but I think it's a big opportunity for
No,
him as well.
I love Marco Jansen. I don't know why, but I
I
think
love
he's
him.
a, he's
Oh,
a
I love him.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
He's
for
got that
example, he can be
fire.
a better version. Yeah, and he can be the better version of Albie Mokel, or maybe one of the best
Yeah.
all-rounders. He's
More
improved so much
Morkel.
on the
Yeah.
bat as well.
Yeah. No, I love him. Yeah, LB, goodness, the two brothers. Now, I'm a
Yeah,
big Marco Jansen fan, and he's a left arm bowler as well. Yeah, so I think big tournament for him as well to prove
yeah.
himself like to the world.
And who do you think can be the threat to the opposition for South Africa?
Um, Definitely, I would say again,
I
it's going
think
to be, yeah, yeah,
I
go
personally
ahead.
think it should be Henrik Lassen because
Yeah, no,
where
100%.
do we bowl that guy? Like if you're a
No,
spinner, you're
I just
getting
told
trashed. If you're
you,
a pacer, yeah,
I told you he's impossible to dismiss unless he gives you his wicket. There's no way to get that guy
exactly.
out. Touch wood here now, but no, 100%. The two big threats, and that's what I think. I mean, Pakistan, I know, and New Zealand as well. They beat us
Mm.
now, but the partnership of Miller and Klaasen, we're talking about 100 runs at the back. You add Miller into that side, batting with Klaasen, it would have been over 400. Like, I mean, let's just face
Yeah.
it, so that's the possibility. So definitely for me, those two guys as well. I think Markram scored the fastest 100 in India a year ago, and then Maxwell broke the record against the Netherlands. So Markram is also a lot of big match players.
Yeah, he is
Yeah, and
indeed.
we bat deep, so
Yeah.
they can play with some freedom, definitely.
Okay, so before we wrap this session up, so I would like to know your predictions for the Champions Trophy 2025. So semi-finalists and who do you see as the champions?
I think tomorrow's match might just decide one of the teams who goes through. Pakistan have not been winning against New Zealand. I'm just gonna go.
Hmm.
I want to be nice to Pakistan, but I also need to be honest here. I think New Zealand is the better side, but if Pakistan can win tomorrow, then they've got a really big chance. So let's say New Zealand. I'm going to give it to India because they also have a big advantage staying in the same location. So India, also they're the favorites. India, New Zealand, and then I'm going to go with. I have to give it to my own side, and then I'm going to go with. I don't know how
Afghanistan,
much the ball
Australia,
is
and
going to turn.
England.
I want to say Afghanistan, so let's take a risk. I just don't know how much the ball is going to turn on those flat pitches. Um, England might have a shot because they're playing in Pakistan. It's their favorite place.
Mhm.
So best
Yeah,
ball on flat
point
pitches.
noted.
But let's go South Africa, Afghanistan. Then I'm going to go, if India play Afghanistan in Dubai, that would
Mhm.
be the match of the tournament for me. I really want that to happen. Let's be nice to all of the fans. Let's say South Africa and India in the final. And this time
Oh, once
we are
again,
taking it. Yeah, we are taking it. So
2.0 revenge time.
we've got more
It's
than enough
payback
time
time,
now,
guys.
and you don't have Bumrah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna be positive and say South Africa versus India.
All
And
right,
South Africa
that's
wins.
some bold
Yeah.
prediction. And you know what? I just like to mention. I've taken I previously interacted with Adam Collins, interacted with Charles Dagnall as well.
Mhm.
Means everyone mentions about Afghanistan into the semi final. So it's
Yeah.
really great to see a nation like who is doing so good in cricket, who's going through turmoil in the nation, but yeah, doing great in terms of cricket. So that's really
They
inspiring.
deserve it. Yeah, they deserve it. And they're playing a really good brand of cricket. They're very confident in the brand of cricket that they're playing. So, yeah, very dangerous side. Like I said, I'm very nervous about Friday. Might need a glass of wine or two there because that's going to be nerve-wracking. Yeah, playing Afghanistan first. But yeah,
All
okay.
right, Thanja, it was pleasure to have you out here in the Cricket Reborn podcast. Hope to have many more. And guys, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to tune in and subscribe to Cricket Reborn podcast, the Cricket Reborn channel for insightful cricketing contents. And yeah, do not forget to follow us on the socials, and do not forget to follow Thanja, the cricket queen of Cape Town, because she comes up with some exciting content for all of you to entertain all you guys. Yeah, so thank you so much,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you so much.